now we're over here with my new friend, Johnathan Smith.
Yeah.
I've always ridden through here and been fascinated by this. So this is really awesome to be able to stand in here with you, the creator, the genesis, the family that started all this here. Where are we at the corner? What's the corner of, what's the corner here?
This is the corner of Madison and Ridgeway.
Madison and Ridgeway,
yeah.
Where it all started.
Known as Toad Hall if the light bright site was on.
So Johnathan, tell me, you are responsible, you're the one to blame for all this. So where did all this start from? Why did y'all start doing this?
Well, I've got two kids. Our daughter was a freshman at NC State. She's in the School of Design. She was attracted to shiny objects on the side of the road.
All right.
And we've always believed in our family that if it's not fun, it won't get done. So one night she was taking a kid home in Raleigh. She stopped on Glenwood Avenue and saw a grapevine ball that had lights around.
Okay.
You've seen them down east. She came home, came through her door and said, "Daddy, I think we can make these with chicken wire." She'd been making things with chicken wire down in the design shop. And so we hightailed down to Holiday Hardware. You remember Holiday Hardware?
Yeah.
And we didn't know what we were doing. We bought every size of chicken wire we could find. We came home, sat on the living room floor. Her brother, then in high school, was watching NC State play basketball. This was
Sorry about that.
December the 19th, 1996.
Wow.
So if you've been in Greensboro and you're 28 years or younger, there has never been a time when there weren't lighted Christmas balls.
So what was the year? 1996.
The balls are
Wow.
are 28 years old
So we're
today.
coming up on 30 years in a couple. I
know.
You're right. I mean, I've been here a long time, and this is my kids know this as the thing. So the balls we're talking about here in Sunset Hills, your family created. So you really created it out of the chicken wire.
Well, out of the chicken wire. And so the first ball Allison made was about this big, but we used 2-inch hex. Now we're using 1-inch hex.
Okay.
And so when you start wrapping a sphere with mini lights, and it's a 2-inch hex, it starts to shrink down. And so the first ball was about the size of a cantaloupe. And back when that tree had some limbs down low, she went out and hung the first ball on the lowest limb. It looked homely.
And that was it, huh?
It looked homely.
Oh, okay.
She went and sat on the front steps, chin in her hands like someone had taken her pet. And she said she came busting through the door and said, this guy stopped. He had his wife roll down the window and he said, "My, that is beautiful."
Wow.
And all you gotta do is say that to a college kid and boom, that's the next one.
So in 1996, your daughter had an idea.
Yeah.
Your family started it with one not so beautiful looking
One
ball
homely
that was
looking
there.
ball about the size of a cantaloupe.
And so 28 years later, you're still seeing as we're standing here, we got all this here. It's evolved. I mean, we've got national spotlight. It's been on NBC, it's been on a lot of other channels. What are we doing here with the donate here? Where did this come from? Where did this idea come from?
Well, there's a step that happened between the donate here and that first little ball. You know how smart high school boys are.
Very
sophomore,
intelligent.
yeah,
Sure.
they know everything.
They know everything.
He said, "Allison, the balls need to get bigger and they need to go higher." And so a potato gun served that purpose. And so that took them up. When you start shooting a potato gun at night during December, people come out of their houses to see what's going on. That guy wanted to make them, that guy wanted to make them, that girl wanted to make them, and the girl that lived there wanted to make them.
So that
And by the next Saturday, the guys that lived down the street were coming by drinking a beer, and they said, "I think we can do this." And so the other end of Ridgeway, and it's like, you light a backfire. The two fires just burn together, boom, there it goes.
So you started taking them higher,
Yeah.
started taking them bigger, and then it really grew off this main street.
Well,
here.
we were doing a little backyard how-to on this thing, and a handful of neighbors would come, and then people would call and say, "Hey, I want to come," and it was like, oh my gosh, backyard won't hold this. And we felt kind of bad. People would call from other neighborhoods, and we would feel kind of bad for saying, "Nah, we can't, this is all we got."
Yeah.
And then we realized that true fellowship is inclusive, not exclusive.
Awesome.
And so Ann got the permit, closed Ridgeway Drive, and the Sunday before Thanksgiving every year in the afternoon, we have a workshop right here. Folding tables, chicken wire, all that stuff.
That's awesome. So how many do you still make a year?
I'll probably make 12.
You
10
make 12 a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have 60, 50 are up and on the ground.
So if you've ever driven through, walked through, now run through, as they have a race running of the balls through this area in Sunset Hills, both on the market side, the friendly side, it's kind of grown, it's expanded. The Smith family is to blame for all that. And this program's really about learning who's actually responsible for things, who is a teacher, who's a firefighter, a police officer. This is really a part of our community. This has become a lot of what Greensboro is kind of known for in the holidays.
It is.
And it all started right here with your daughter having an idea.
I heard Yo-Yo Ma say when he came to the Bryan series that true collaboration honors everybody's inputs. And so in 2007, when Marlene said, why don't we have a food collection? I thought, I don't know. You know, she said, no, let's just see what happens. I said, well, what's the worst that could happen? So at the end of December 2007, we had $734 and 2,974 pounds of food. Through yesterday, including the running of the balls, which started in 2012, we've had 260,000 pounds of food and right at $1 million. And
$1 million?
It's provided, between the run and just straight up collections, $1 million, which if you do the math, figuring 1 pound of non-perishable food will create 2 meals, and at second harvest, $1 will used to provide 7 nutritious meals, now it provides 6. But that's 7.5 million meals.
That's so awesome, man.
That's 7.5 million meals. And North Carolina, see, my mom had Alzheimer's disease, and I volunteered with Wake Forest on their healthy aging. There is not now one living survivor of Alzheimer's disease. No one survived it. We've survived heart attacks, strokes, cancer, all kind of horrible things. But not one person has survived Alzheimer's disease and lived to tell about it. But hunger is solvable. See, you just have a Venn diagram between what's important and what you can control, and that little thing in the middle says hunger is solvable. North Carolina is the 10th hungriest state in the country. 1 in 7. Second Harvest serves 18 counties from Boone to Burlington. They serve Greensboro Urban Ministry. They've got 50 partner agencies all around here. 1 in 7 persons in North Carolina is food insecure. What it doesn't mean is we don't know what we're going to have for supper tonight. What it means is we don't know if we're going to have supper tonight. 1 in 5 children is food insecure. Children under 5, food insecure. Families have to decide which kid are we going to feed a breakfast to. Which kid gets supper tonight. And it shouldn't be that way, because they face a lifetime of learning and developmental difficulties that they can't overcome. And so the cycle just keeps going round and round and round. And with inflation so much in the last so many years, poverty is just rampant, factories closing. And so senior food insecurity is horrible. African American and Latinx is, what can I say?
Well, can I say thank you?
Yeah.
As a guy who has lived here for a long time and gets to take my kids through here and enjoy it for myself. What a great idea. How this has evolved from just an idea to have a light put up, to really grown into the neighborhood, to grown to serve Boone to Burlington, but more importantly here, our Second Harvest, urban ministry, and our own population, but also the collaboration this has generated. So I just wish you had some passion about this and could get excited about this.
Oh, thank you,
this is so awesome.
Well,
I'm so honored to kind of be able to do this.
is an 8-foot fiberglass pole that arborists use to shoot a rope up in a tree so they can either pull themselves up there or pull a chainsaw up in the air or something else. We've adapted it to not get lighted balls up in the air, but to use this as a tool to get a shot sack with a string tied to it up and over a limb. So when the string comes down, you untie it from the shot sack, you tie it onto that ball. You've got, just like pulling up a flag when you were a kid at school. You just pull the flag. And of course the ball's plugged in, and there's a whole new part of that, but it goes, it goes up, and people say, how do you get them down? Well, after you've tied it to a tree or an azalea bush, or like my sister made these little boards with cleats on them, you just untie them and gravity does the work for you. It just drops the ball, unless it gets stuck. And then you have to wait for the ice storm. But so you get your, you imagine you'd have a little 8-ounce weight in here, just like a little hacky sack with a D-ring on it, and you'd have a string tied to it. And so you get down like this, and you pull it down, and it would go flying up.
There you go.
And I have hit branches before, and the thing ricochets back down. But eventually you can get it up and get it where you want it. You can't be greedy about, oh, I could have got it a little bit here, a little bit there, and you can't play with it. You just gotta take what you get.
But thank you so much for everything.
You're
man.
so welcome. Thank you. Thank you.